So we're on our way home from the Lanterns and Lore at Old Fort Niagara in Lewiston, New York. And I'm kind of bummed. I was going through my Spirit Box app on my phone, and some of the things that we actually recorded while we were walking through the barracks didn't save. Like, they're just a blank video. Like, you can see everything moving behind, but there's no noise. And that happened when I was at Gettysburg, which was also super frustrating because there were so many things being said that I wanted to go back and listen to the video and see if I had heard it right. Big things that they were talking about when we were walking through the barracks is that there is a story about two French soldiers. They got in a fight, and they kind of were in a sword fight. They kind of came down the stairs from the barracks, and one of them killed the other one, and he dumped his body into the well inside of the barracks. And I remember that story from when I was a kid, and we like stayed over at the barracks for like a field trip. But I was filming as we were walking around, and there was like a bedroom of like the daughter of one of the colonels. What did they say it was? Colonels? One of the colonels. And I was kind of like videotaping into like the different rooms that were part of her little suite. And as we were walking back out, I was hearing things pop up that sounded like French that was being spoken. And it was, at one point, occupied by the British. It was occupied by the French. It was occupied by Americans once America became America. And probably some Native Americans in there too, and locals. So I was hearing a whole bunch of different languages pop up. I wanted to be able to look back at it and see what it was, but unfortunately the video didn't work. Sometimes spirits kind of block things. Sometimes technology fails us. Whatever it is. But what did you think of the Lantern and Lore thing, Kayla?
I enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of interesting stories, and unfortunately people did die there.
Yeah. It's right across the river from Fort George, too, in Canada. So they were talking about how there was a lot of, like, artillery shells, like, back and forth with that, too. Couple of stories about people that were on watch and they were drunk and might have saw something. So.
My favorite one was of the little girl. It was recent. It wasn't, like, super recently, but it was, like, within the past, 50 years?
Yeah, it was like in the 80s, right?
And,
I think there
was like a little girl, and she was probably like 5, and the ticket counter used to be in
part of the fort.
Yeah, where the artillery was like upstairs.
Yeah.
And she saw a guy in a blue uniform, and it had like red on it too, but it was a blue uniform.
Hat, yeah.
But they were doing a reenactment that day, and they only had red uniforms because they didn't have a lot of money then.
Yeah.
And so there was only red uniforms, and so people were like beginning to question her, and come to find out, back in the day, was it the 1700s?
Yeah, 1790s, something like that.
I forgot who occupied it.
It would have been America at that point, I think.
And
Newly
anyway, their uniforms were blue with the hat that she described, and the guys that were the artillery had red on them. So
yeah.
she saw the guy, but nobody really thought anything of it until she like explained it like word for word.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, and all the tour guides were like, wait, you're describing this. And everyone's like, ooh. The one that I kind of liked was when we went into like the barracks, and this guy for what news? Like it was a news station, or
it was some kind of reporter named Nick.
Yeah, Nick. They called it the Nick at Night story, quote unquote. But he decided to stay over in one of the barracks, and he called his counterpart who went home, the guy that like basically oversaw the fort at the time, like locked him in just for his safety so that he didn't like trip and fall, because there's no electricity in a lot of the buildings there, and he didn't want him to get hurt. So he's all tidied up for the night, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night and he calls the other guy, and he's like, there's someone in here. I don't know if it's kids or what, but people are running around up top. Like, people are running down the stairs and banging on the door. And the guy was like, all right, well, hang on. I live in Lewiston. Like, I'll be right there. He's like, where do you want me to meet you? I'll meet you at the the barracks where I locked you in. And he's like, oh no, I'm in my car. I'm not going back there. So that was a cool one too.
That was a good story.
And obviously, like, you would sometimes spirits leave like a residual energy, and it's just them doing their normal, like, round and round type of thing. So so it's kind of interesting. That was a cool story there. But it was absolutely gorgeous. I managed to get some photos, so I'm gonna post those as well on, like, my Instagram and stuff. But
and everything was dark except for
super dark.
The actual candle lanterns,
the little lanterns and everything. So that was pretty neat too. But anyways, check it out. Sorry we didn't pick up some of the stuff from inside the fort, but again, sometimes technology fails us.
Next time.
Or maybe the spirits didn't want us to record what they were saying. Who knows? I'll leave that up to you guys. Anyways, it was a great time. If you get a chance to do the lantern and lore thing at Old Fort Niagara, it was a really great time. It was about an hour long. So anyways, see you later.
Deuces.
Deuces.